While quite a lot is known about the physical might, the technological prowess, and the hunting rituals of the Yautja, the predators, very little is understood about their religion and the spiritual forces that shape their warrior culture. The predator species, known across the stars for their code of honor and the mastery of the hunt, possess a mythos as complex and primal as their society itself. So from death gods to prophets and mythical hunters, as well as certain rituals and the codex, here we will explore the religion and the gods of the predator race. Let's get to it. Beginning with the gods, the first one here is the Black Warrior. For the Yautja, everything in existence revolves around the hunt. Battle is the crucible in which life is tested, and death is the ultimate offering to the cosmos. It is fitting then that their primary deity is known as the Black Warrior, a divine figure embodying both death and honor. As described in the game Aliens vs Predator Prey and Aliens vs Predator War, the Black Warrior is the god to whom Yautja hunters pray before embarking on their sacred hunts. This deity symbolizes the inevitability of death, not as a terror but as the final hunt to be embraced. The Yautja believe that the Black Warrior claims those who die honorably in combat, guiding them to the afterlife, a realm of endless hunts where only the strongest prey await. In Predator Eyes of the Demon, it is revealed that the Black Warrior's dominion extends even to the innocent, for he also claims Yautja children who perish from sickness or misfortune. In this belief lies a grim but touching truth. To the Yautja, all who live by the hunt are under the watch of this god, from the newborn to the elder warrior. And this god, the Black Warrior, is depicted as a colossal figure clad in obsidian armor, with his visage hidden beneath a death mask, carrying a blade that reflects the souls of the fallen. Known as the Black Warrior Executioner, he also stands as both the destroyer and the redeemer, as the dark heart of the Yautja fate. The next god is the Extraterrestrial Odin. In the Aliens vs Predator movie novelization, which has certain differences and as well as additions to the cinematic iteration, here we see the three young-blooded predators, Scar, Celtic and Chopper, performing a ritual before a towering stone effigy aboard their mothership. This effigy represents a god described as an extraterrestrial Odin, a cosmic thunder deity who hurls lightning across the heavens. The three kneel before him, invoking his strength and blessing before descending to earth for their blooding hunt. This connection between this god and Norse mythology is unmistakable, yet within Yautja tradition, this thunder-wielding deity predates human myth. The parallels suggest that the ancient Viking cultures may have encountered Yautja hunters, worshippers of this god during hunts on earth, mistaking them for divine emissaries. From this, the Nordic god Odin, the spear-wielding, one-eyed master of war and wisdom, may have been born in human legends. The thunderbolt symbol that adorns the Yautja biomass and hunt markings, as described in the AVP comics, ties directly to this deity. The thunderbolt represents both divine wrath and the cleansing fire of the hunt, the purging of weakness through combat. In certain arts, this Odin is depicted as a massive alien war god with flowing dreadlocks, with his eyes glowing like plasma, surrounded by lightning, which makes it a fitting representation of fury in Yautja theology. Then next, there are two gods called Paya and Chitanu. Among their many deities, two other names are highly notable and might be either E.T. Odin and the Black Warrior, but with different names. Here we have Paya, the creator, and Chitanu, the Black Hunter. Paya is revered as the life giver and the mother of all creation, often depicted as a pale-skinned, blue-eyed female with strong fertile features symbolizing vitality, wisdom, and the will to endure. She is credited with shaping life itself and instilling in her children the gifts of determination, intelligence, and the drive to overcome. In contrast, Chitanu embodies death, but not as a malevolent force, but as the inevitable conclusion of all hunts. Known as the Undefeated One, he is the silent, patient god who claims even the greatest warriors in time. To the Yautja, death is not to be feared but respected, and meeting Chitanu in the final hunt is considered the ultimate honor. And this is very well captured in the phrase, "The fight that had begun will not end until the end." Now, aside from gods, the predator culture also have these prophets or very important warriors of the past. One of them is Kaail the prophet. Before the rise of the Yautja, their ancestors were known as the HQ-10, a species enslaved and brutalized by the insectoid species called the Emengi. The Emengi were a highly advanced insectoid species who consumed their homeworld's resources and became nomadic, conquering and exploring new worlds. When they arrived on the predator homeworld, the HQ-10, the early, smaller and less intelligent ancestors of the Yautja, were easily enslaved. For centuries, the Amengi used them for labor, for food and brutal gladiatorial games. They bred and enhanced the Hish for combat, unknowingly creating their future conquerors. So salvation came through Kaail, also known as the Alpha Predator, the prophet who became the first to unite the Hish and lead a rebellion against their masters. This event marked the beginning of the true Yautja civilization and established Kaail as the messianic figure, not a god, but as a prophet of freedom and vengeance. Kaail is often described as an albino Yautja, as a pale-skinned, white dreadlocked and scarred by the cruelty of the Amengi. His legend passed down through the millennia and tells of how he turned the Amengi's own technology against them, reshaping their weapons into the first Yautja armor and plasma casters. Through his rebellion, the Yautja inherited not only their freedom but also their sacred creed, that strength is the only truth and the hunt is the only path to immortality. So Kaail's myth endures in every Yautja clan. Hunters whisper praise to him before battle, honoring his defiance. Statues of the Alpha Predator stand in the great temples of the Yautja Prime World, his upraised spear symbolizing the triumph of will over enslavement. To the Yautja, Kaail is the first hunter, the living embodiment of the righteous fury, and the closest mortal to ever touching divinity. By the year 2117, in the future, as described in Predator Forever Midnight, the surviving Amengi remained enslaved, but they were happy in captivity, obsessing over technology and engineering puzzles. They are responsible for much of the Yautja technology that the Predators use, including the translation devices, mind control tools, and the advanced environmental systems for Predator ships, and serving their former slaves as slaves themselves. And this here explains how the Predators are highly advanced and having war machines without having a labor caste or a working class, as all of them are hunters or are training to be hunters. Then, following Kaail's liberation of his species, another prophetic figure arose, and this one is known as the Lord Predator, the first of its kind to successfully hunt and kill a xenomorph, or the Serpent. This monumental act transformed the hunt of the xenomorph into a sacred ritual, a divine challenge meant to prove ultimate worth. The Aliens vs Predator 2010 game and its lore described how temples were erected in his honor, particularly on the planet called BG-386, where statues and sarcophagi commemorate his feat. To the Yautja, the Lord Predator represents the bridge between myth and fate, a hunter who transcended mortality through his hunt. His confrontation with the xenomorph is remembered as a spiritual trial between predator and prey, a perfect prey, a symbolic confrontation between civilization and chaos. Even the thunderbolt marking used in the blooding ritual, drawn in xenomorph blood, echoes back to both the extraterrestrial Odin and the Lord Predator, linking the Lord Predator as a prophet of Odin. So when the legendary Dark Predator visited BG-386, he paid solemn respect to Lord's tomb before destroying it to contain a xenomorph outbreak, a tragic but symbolic act of devotion, showing that even divine relics must be sacrificed in the name of the hunt's sanctity. Now, as of present, there are also, like many human religions and cults, there are certain members who conduct and regulate the spiritual aspects, much like high priests or figureheads of the religion, and this is true for the Predator Society as well. One of these that we know of is the Shaman Predator. This was seen in The Lost Tribe in Los Angeles in the movie Predator 2. Within this clan, the Shaman Predator acts as both a philosopher and a priest, leading ceremonial gatherings and teaching younger hunters that true honor is found not just in victory but in understanding the balance between creation and destruction. In some expanded lore interpretations, the Shaman also guards forbidden and sacred knowledge of the Yautja gods, and he is unique to all other Yautja. He is gifted with clairvoyant abilities, and thus he understands omens, dreams, and visions which are said to come from Paya the Life Giver or from Chetanu the Black Hunter. He also shares some thematic kinship with the Predator Witch from Aliens vs Predator vs the Terminator. Both figures, like the Shaman and Witch, performs rituals and rites that transcend combat, serving as intermediaries between mortals and their divine gods, ensuring that each hunt retains a sacred purpose in the end. Now again, like human religions, the Predator one also has certain rituals and practices, and one of this is the pilgrimage to Yautja Prime. See, as the Yautja Empire expanded across the galaxy, spreading their hunting lodges to countless worlds, the act of returning to Yautja Prime became a holy pilgrimage, to set foot again on the sacred soil of their homeworld after centuries of hunting amongst the stars. It was to renew one's bond with the gods and ancestors. By the time of the Rage War saga in the 27th century, this pilgrimage was an act of faith and endurance. Many Yautja would perish in the attempt, but those who succeed were welcomed into the great temples where the statues of Kaail, the Lord Predator, and even the legendary individuals like Wolf stood immortalized. And here the pilgrimage is a spiritual cycle to travel, to kill, and to return and to remember. Now in the end, no spiritual system would be complete or would last long without a scripture. And for the Yautja, this is the Yautja Codex, a sacred text engraved in runic symbols and recited by elders before hunts. The Codex functions as both a holy text and a code of conduct, outlining the moral and spiritual boundaries for the hunt. Those who defy it are called the Bad Bloods, and they are excommunicated, hunted, and erased from Yautja society. Each entry in the Codex is both a commandment and a parable, binding the Yautja race together through a shared belief in strength, purity, and honor. In this way, the Yautja Codex is not merely a book of rules, it is the living voice of their gods. It defines what it means to be a Yautja, a predator, what it means to hunt, and what it means to die as well. This here is also known as the Yautja Hunting Rules and the Honor Code, and forms the spiritual and moral foundation of the predator society, a sacred code that dictates how a true hunter must live, fight, and die. At its core belief lies the principle of honor through the hunt, forbidding harm to the innocent like pregnant females and children, and demanding that only worthy prey may be pursued. Every hunt is seen as a sacred ritual, a trial where stealth, skill, and restraint defines a warrior's worth. The Yautja must remain hidden and avoid interference or overkill, and must always equalize the odds, fighting their prey fairly, even if it means discarding highly advanced weapons to ensure honor in combat. And this here is seen clearly in the movies, like if we compare the tech and equipment of the feral predator and the jungle or city hunter, we see a clear difference in advancements of the technology, and this only gives the predator only a slight edge as compared to the contemporary human tech of the respective eras. Anyway, back to the Codex. Here, loyalty and discipline is also equally sacred. A Yautja must reclaim lost gear and fallen brothers, and respect the elders and clan hierarchy, and seek constant self-improvement, aspiring to rise in rank through valor and not deceit. Murder or killing another Yautja is forbidden except in cases of grave dishonor, such as those committed by bad bloods who are hunted for their crimes. The Codex also forbids unnatural technology and hybridization, and maintains the purity of the species and the integrity of the hunt. And so the upgrade predator and the fugitive predator are both bad bloods in this case, as they have broken this code in the Codex. Yet redemption is possible, as the Codex is kind of flexible here. Fallen hunters like Scarface Predator could restore his honor through service and sacrifice, although this is quite rare. Anyway, in a nutshell, the creed of the Yautja Codex is best summarized in the most sacred verse, which was first referenced in the movie Predator: Killer of Killers. And here it says, "Go forth among the stars and seek only the strongest prey. They shall be your trophy. Become the killer of killers." So that in a nutshell is what we know about the Predator religion and their gods, as well as the Codex and their prophets. So that's the end of the video. Do hit the like button for support and the hype option for hyping up the video to other viewers. This one here goes to the viewers who are viewing this in their phones. You can press the hype option. Also subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, fam.